In this video, we will learn how to record a voiceover in Audacity. Success in professional voiceover depends on recording quality, and there are a few things you must ensure. For the past 5 years, I have been teaching people how to get started with Audacity for professional voiceover work. The things I show you in this video are also taught to my students in the Premium Consulting Program. They take notes of what I am going to show you, and implement that. Many of my students won their first job using the same technique I am about to show in this video. More about my teaching programs later, but let's first see how to record using Audacity. Recording in Audacity seems quite simple, but there is a catch. You can see a red record button here. If you press it, the recording starts, and you can see the audio waveform appear in the timeline. But that's not the correct way to record your voice in Audacity. You have to take care of certain things before you record. Because your final audio quality depends on your recording quality. You have to make sure you are capturing the best possible audio in your situation. There are several things you need to take care of. For example, you have to select the correct microphone, set the proper recording channel, and set the proper input level. It looks like quite a lot of things, but they are actually quite simple. Let's see those one by one. The first thing you need to do is make sure the correct device is selected for recording. You can do that from the Audio Setup button. If you go to Audio Setup, you'll see an option called Recording Device. In the recording device, you'll see a list of microphones connected to your computer. Not all the microphone names may make sense, but do not worry about that. Look for your microphone name on the list. Notice if there is a tick mark beside your microphone name. However, if you do not see your microphone on the list, you have to rescan audio devices. If Audacity is open first, and then you connect the microphone, Audacity won't detect it. If you rescan audio devices, Audacity will recognize all connected microphones. Then, from the recording device list, select your microphone. The tick mark beside the name denotes which microphone is currently selected. For example, in my case, you can see that Scarlett 2i2 USB is selected. Scarlett 2i2 is actually my audio interface. I have a Sennheiser E845 microphone connected through the Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. When an audio interface is used, Audacity or any software program will show the audio interface name. So, if I select Scarlett 2i2 USB, any microphone connected to that interface will be selected for recording. If you are using a different interface or using a USB mic, you will see a different name. You have to understand what name your microphone is showing on the list. Selecting a microphone is as simple as clicking the name on the list. For example, let's say I want to use the MacBook Pro microphone. If I click on it, it will be selected. I can now verify it by going to Audio Setup again, and we see the tick mark is beside the MacBook Pro microphone. That's how you select your microphone. I'll now switch back to Scarlett 2i2 USB, as that is the microphone I will be using for this recording. You should make a good habit of checking the selected microphone from the Audio Setup button before every recording session. Otherwise, it is a very common issue with recording in the wrong microphone. That would be quite frustrating if you were doing a serious or long recording. Because during recording, you can't see which microphone is currently selected for recording. There is a way to prevent such mistakes. Go to View, Toolbars, and enable Device Toolbar. Currently, there is no tick mark beside the device toolbar, which means it is not showing. Once you enable the device toolbar, a new toolbar appears where you can see the selected microphone in a drop-down list. After selecting the microphone, the next thing you need to do is set the recording channel. You can set the recording channel from the device toolbar or from the Audio Setup button. In the Audio Setup, you can find this in the drop-down menu under Recording Channels. My audio interface supports 2 channels, mono and stereo. Depending on your recording device, you can see either these options or only mono or more than 2 options. For voiceover, you should choose mono. Mono recording channel keeps things simple. You don't need to use stereo. Stereo recordings can make things more complicated, as they may cause audio to appear on only one side of your headphones if not set up properly. To avoid such issues, select the mono recording channel. If you are into audiobooks, this mono or stereo channel can become very important. The page you see now is from the ACX Audio Requirements. ACX is a platform where you can narrate audiobooks for Amazon or Audible. The main point is that your audio has to meet certain quality standards to be accepted in ACX. In these recommendations, you will see a specific guideline to choose mono or stereo. All the audio files of an audiobook have to be either mono or stereo, but cannot be both. As I said earlier, choosing the mono channel keeps things simple. In professional voiceover, you may get requirements to submit audio in mono or stereo. If you record in mono, you can easily convert to stereo if required. The bottom line is you should choose a mono recording channel. If you want to learn Audacity in detail, I have a special program called Audacity Bundle. Audacity Bundle is a set of courses, pre-built macros, and custom EQ. While the Audacity courses are better for learning, the macros make your job easier. You can process your audio with just a click with the macros. The custom EQ can bring the best result for your audio. Everyone's audio is different and needs a different EQ to enhance its full quality. In the Audacity Bundle, I will do that for you. I will also check your recording and give you important feedback on what is wrong and what should be fixed. If your purpose is professional voiceover, audiobook narration, podcasting, or content creation voiceover, the Audacity Bundle is an all-in-one solution. I will put the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Back to the tutorial. Now that we've selected the microphone and recording channel, the next step is to check your audio settings. Generally, you don't need to change anything here, but it's good practice to verify that your project sample rate and default sample format are correct. For example, the project sample rate should be 44.1 kHz, which is the default. A microphone captures an analog signal, but a computer needs digital data to store and play the audio. A project sample rate indicates how many samples of the analog signal are to be made during the digital conversion. You may say that the more samples, the better the audio would be, but that is not the case. If you set the sample rate too high, like 96,000 Hz, it will consume unnecessary disk space without giving you any benefit for voiceover work. Because our computer hardware may not be suited for the higher sample rate, or the difference is so insignificant in voiceover work that it is not noticeable. Don't change it unless you know what you're doing, or why you need a different sample rate other than 44.1 kHz. Many people change it without understanding why, which can lead to problems. On the other hand, if you set it too low, like 8,000 or 16,000 Hz, your audio quality will suffer. So, the optimal rate is 44.1 kHz. Next, check the default sample format. It should be 32-bit float. You shouldn't change that either. Recording in 32-bit float gives you more headroom, preventing clipping or distortion. To keep things simple, just leave it as it is. Though there is no need to change the default values, I discussed it for an important reason. As a beginner, you may struggle to get a clean audio at the beginning. You may search for the reason why you are not getting as good audio as others. Some tutorials may mislead you into thinking that the sample rate and format are the issue. However, that is not the case. If your audio is not of super quality, then there can be many reasons, like the microphone, recording technique, the recording room, etc. You should get professional quality audio with a sample rate of 44.1 kHz and a sample format of 32-bit float. You only need to check once that your sample format and rate are okay. It will remain in these settings unless you deliberately change it. Once everything is set, click OK. We will now check another very important setting before recording, the recording level. You'll see two meters here. The top one is the record meter, and the bottom one is the playback meter. If you click on the microphone icon and enable silent monitoring, you'll see a green bar moving. That's your current recording level. You can drag these meters to make them bigger. A bigger meter allows you to see more details of the level your audio is hitting. While you are talking into the microphone, the levels should be between -18 dB and -6 dB. If your audio levels are in that range, that means you are getting good enough audio signals, and it is easy to process later. If your audio gets into the red region, there is a chance of distortion or clipping. Notice the maximum level on this meter is 0. If your level is more than 0 dB, you cannot see it, but your audio will be clipped or distorted. The most important factor here is your distance from the microphone. During recording, the distance from your mouth to the mic should be 4 to 8 inches. If you are too close, then it will have a proximity effect, resulting in plosives, excessive mouth noise, and bass-heavy sound. Being too far away will result in thin audio full of sound reflections. So to get the best quality recording, you should be at a proper distance from the mic, and the level should be between -18 and -6. If you are at a proper distance from the mic, but failing to reach the levels or recording in the red zone, the gain knob on your microphone or audio interface needs adjustment. You may need to increase or decrease the gain depending on the situation. The last item in the pre-recording checklist is the playback device. It is the last drop-down in the device toolbar. The playback device is not important during recording unless you are using live monitoring. Live monitoring means hearing the audio live during recording. I do not recommend live monitoring for voiceover or audiobook recording. However, if you are in a situation where live monitoring can help, you can enable it from the transport menu. In the transport menu, you will find transport options, and then enable audible input monitoring. If that's turned on, your voice will play back through your selected playback device while recording. Some people like to hear themselves live during recording, and this is the option to enable that. We're not using live monitoring here, but now you know where to find it. Everything is set, so let's start recording. Click on the red record button, and you'll see the waveform appear as you speak. Understanding this waveform is important for audio editing and processing. We will see later how to edit and process this audio. Once you've finished recording, click on the stop icon. Now you can see the waveform, and this is the timeline. You can select any part of the waveform, delete unwanted sections, or edit as needed. It is just like editing text. The waveform is a visual representation of your audio. Now that you've recorded something, you might want to save or export it. Note that this isn't yet an audio file. We can either save it as an Audacity project, export as an audio file, or do both. Let's see how to save as a project. If you go to File, Save Project, you can choose to save project. You'll see options to save it either to the cloud or your computer. I do not recommend using the cloud option as it will be on the internet, and you will have less control. Choose to save on your computer. If you do not want to see these options, and always save on your computer, you can check the Remember My Choice option. I will choose to save to computer. I have to choose a location where I want to save this project. Once saved in a location, I can reopen this project at any later time and start working from where I left off. I will choose the folder Audacity Projects on my desktop. I have to give the project a name. I will name it Demo Project YouTube. After naming it, click Save. The project is now saved. If I visit the folder where I saved it, I can see it. I am using a Mac. If you are using Windows, the look of the folder will be a bit different, but you know how to navigate on your computer. Please note that this is an Audacity project, not an audio file. If I double-click this file, it will open in Audacity. To demonstrate it, I will close the current Audacity window. I will go back to the folder and double-click the Audacity project. You can see it is now opened in Audacity, exactly as I saved it. Please note that Audacity does not have an autosave feature. So every time you open a project, it will open from the last saved state. The Audacity project we saved can only be opened in Audacity. If you need to send the audio file that you recorded, you need to export it as an MP3 or WAV. To do that, go to File, Export Audio. You have to give the file a name. The default is the project name, and if I want to change it, I can, or keep it as it is. Then you have to choose a location where you want to export this audio file. The process of choosing the location is the same as I just did for saving project. I will choose the training folder. You have to choose a format for the file. The most popular are MP3 and WAV. I recommend using WAV while you're still working on the audio, as it's lossless and uncompressed, meaning the audio quality stays the same. Once you're finished and ready to upload, you can export as MP3. Click Export, and now if you check your training folder, you'll see the exported WAV file. We just completed a full circle of recording audio, and getting an audio file from it. However, the main purpose of using software like Audacity is to enhance the recording through various audio effects. Please click the card on the screen to learn how to process a raw recording and how to make it better.